Peace and love, family. My name is Kenneth. I'm the devil's advocate. Now, for today on the Ego Ken channel, I am unshaved and we are talking about an unfiltered topic. See what I did there? One of the things I've noticed, on social media a lot that grinds my gears and really makes me angry is people who are entitled. Obviously, you've definitely met entitled people on social media, but one of the most entitled people I've met is people who feel like they're entitled to everyone's approval. And not only that, but people who I guess think that having religious morals or having conservative morals or values is not only outdated, but they see it as prejudice, right? So I made this video because, for a full-on message that I want you, the viewer, to kind of send out to other people. When the title says, disapproval is not prejudice, right? A lot of people will, I've seen a lot of posts on social media where a person will say, hey, I don't support this. And then people in their comments will be like, oh, you must hate these people then. You must hate a person because you don't support it. It's like people don't fathom the concept of, you can not approve of a practice or you can disagree with a practice while at the same time loving and accepting people who choose to have that practice. It's almost like a foreign concept to these people. And it's very strange that you kind of have to go and explain that to them, and even then, like when you try to explain it to them, they don't really have much of an argument. Now, I am kind of labeled a spiritual YouTuber and stuff like that, but even though I kind of try to stray away from that topic, but I'm not like most like people and where I say, do whatever you want to do as long as it makes you happy and all that other stuff. Like, no, I have things I support and I have things I don't support, right? I'm not super free spirited, right? Through my experience in life, I've seen things like, this seems destructive. And I see this like, this seems okay, I'm not really one to kind of blatantly stereotype everything as, everything is okay as long as it doesn't physically harm people. So, with that being said, right, I have really stopped voicing my disapproval of things on the internet. Well, mainly just because it's a mistake to put your opinions on the internet in the first place. But second of all, it's like people think that if you voice your disapproval for something, or if you just say, hey, I don't approve of this, or I disagree with this, they get this impression that you're then going to stop people who then want to do it. For example, like my religious values and stuff disproves of tattoos, right? Because my religious values believe that your body belongs to God and you have to give it back to him, right? So a lot of people would be under the impression that if I say, I wouldn't support my son if he had a tattoo, they think that I'm going to stop him or something, or I'm going to try to prevent him. They're only arguing, oh, well, it's his choice. Well, yeah, no one's arguing that it's not your choice. But just like how you can choose whatever you want to do, I can choose of whatever I want to approve of or whatever I want to give my approval of. And it's kind of this weird doctrine that we as people now have to approve of everything and we have to be in support of everything. We have to agree with everything, and disapproval is somehow like a sign of prejudice. When really it just means, hey, like I disagree, but go do it anyways at the end of the day. It's like it's almost like just opposite opinions are just not valued, which I already know. But it makes it so abundantly clear that you go into a room and you give arguments that are beyond just like because I want to or because it's my choice. You give actual arguments on why you disagree with something, and then people just say, "Well, I'm still gonna do it." Yeah, no one's arguing with you saying that you can't. Like, I don't know where people get this impression that if someone voices their disapproval for something, it means that they're gonna stop you. Maybe like really old people, like maybe people over like the age of 40, you know what I'm saying? When they voice their disapproval, they're gonna try to stop you. But like most people my age, like who have like I don't really label myself as political. I try to label myself as apolitical really. But like society with the kind of opinions, I'm not gonna say all of them obviously because it's the internet and it's gonna cause a whole war. But like with the opinions and with the views on things I have, society would kind of label me as somebody with more conservative or more traditional opinions and stuff. And that's another thing. Like with my opinions, the only real defense that people have against it is, oh, that's outdated or it's old, you know? And it's like, okay, like, do you have any other, like, I give, logical reasons, I've given personal experience, I've given, what I see other people, what happens to other people when I see them delve into this lifestyle I disapprove of. I give all this other stuff, and really the only opposite, like opinion is, oh, well, your opinion is old. Like, okay, every opinion is old. You know what I'm saying? Almost every opinion is old. I don't know what you're talking about when I say old. Like just because I have the same opinion that probably your grandpa would have doesn't mean my opinion is old. Because for like if you do enough digging through history, your opinion was also said like 1,000 years ago by someone else. Your values in life and what you think should be the solution to society has already been tried 100 or 200 or 300 years ago. A lot of people think that they're the first people to try certain things in life. Like, oh, we're going to be making history. We're going to be the first society to approve of this, or we're going to be the first society to normalize this concept. But literally anybody who has really researched history is kind of rolling on the floor laughing at the fact that these people are literally just repeating history while claiming that they're making it new and claiming that they're not repeating it. It's very strange, very, very strange. But yeah, I really wanted to make this video because I just wanted to, it was kind of like a rant video. I wanted to voice my frustration really because a lot of people are just, they're just very sensitive and they're very like whiny on the internet about the fact that, it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical, because a lot of the edgy people on the internet, they'll be like, I don't care what people say, or I'm not gonna please everybody. I'm gonna do whatever I want, right? I don't care what people say. So then I'll just come up and be like, yeah, okay, cool. I don't approve of what you do, but you can do it. Be like, what? Why don't you approve of it? Do you hate me? You blah 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 blah. I've noticed like one thing that I've learned from watching a lot of YouTube videos is that the loudest person in the room is the weakest person in the room. So honestly, to find the person with the most fragile ego, look at the person who's screaming the loudest that they have free will. Look at the person who screams the loudest that they found salvation. Look at the person who screams the loudest that they have status, that they have wealth, that they have power. And if you look at that person, and if you look at how they behave, you'll evidently begin to notice that if you go against the crowd and actually stand up to that person, their fragile ego would just shatter right in front of you. That's when all the curse words come out, So definitely be wary of that. And also, I know you don't need me to tell you this. But be careful what you say on the internet, because nowadays anything that voices disapproval or anything that voices conservative values is old or it's prejudiced, because now we have to approve of everything. We can't have differences anymore. I seen this text. I seen this graffiti text that I feel like truly is the solution. The solution to our society is not the removal of difference. It's the affirmation of difference. Let's be honest, okay? You and me, you the viewer and me, we have our differences. We can't sit here and deny that we are different and that, everything can work for all of us, What works for you is not going to work for me. It's that simple. And fooling ourselves and pretending like one thing can work for everyone just causes a lot of like it causes a lot of like it just slows us down. That's the only way to really like explain it. It just slows us down to think that one thing is going to be for everybody. So really part of solving our society is acknowledging, instead of removing it, acknowledging that we have differences and setting them aside to do things that are more worthwhile, cleaning up our community or giving money to the homeless and stuff like that. Regular, basic virtues like that. I feel like stuff like that isn't as celebrated in mainstream society. It's just discussion, 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 words, 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 but no actions, you know? People think that you got to go all the way to the third world to really go and help people who are in need. But the reality of the situation is, if you really want to help a starving stomach, if you really want to lend a hand, you just go 2 blocks down your street. And there are always going to be people who need your help. And even if you don't have money to spare, you can spare them smiles, you can spare them, good word, you can spare them knowledge, you can spare them words of encouragement. I think that is truly what should be more celebrated and stuff like that, instead of just discussion, because there's so far you can go for discussions. That's why they're called discussions. They're not solutions, they're discussions. A lot of people, they get too wrapped up in talking, and it makes everything seem so serious. It makes the path to salvation, it makes the path to world peace seem so complex and so serious and stuff like that. When really all you gotta do, if we really wanted world peace, we would end it today. We'd be like, hey, you got what you're doing, I got what I'm doing, you don't approve of it, I don't approve of it. Let's set our differences aside, let's understand why we disagree with each other, let's keep changing and keep evolving as a human, and let's go not only get this bread, but give the bread too. Feed the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. But people don't like simplicity, because a lot of people, they confuse simplicity with, I don't want to say evil, but they're skeptical of simple things, They're skeptical of the small things in life. But if there's anything I've learned, it's the simple and the small things in life that you have to cherish and appreciate. And it's the simple and small things that actually create emotion. And then the big things in life is actually a culmination of all of those small things that you neglected. There's some food for thought. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was more of like a mini rant and stuff like that. Be sure to spread it everywhere. This is Ego Can, and we out.